You're 11, the first time it hits you. It's not a lesson, not something taught. It's a moment, a flash of something on a screen, a YouTube vlog with a bright white Lambo purring in a Los Angeles driveway. The guy behind the wheel can't be older than 25. He wears a hoodie and talks like he owns the world. He probably does. You don't care who he is. You just know he has it. Money, respect, power, girls, a lifestyle so clean, so loud, so perfect it feels like CGI. And in that second, a thought latches onto you like a tick. I want that. You don't even understand what that is. You just know you're tired of sharing bedrooms, tired of discount shoes, tired of hearing your parents whisper about bills at night. Whatever he has, it must be the antidote to this. And that's the beginning. Not a grand vow, not a motivational montage, just one quiet moment in front of the screen where reality got infected by possibility. And from there, it spreads. You start seeing it everywhere. Sneakers that cost more than your mom's rent, watches that tick louder than your own heartbeat, Instagram reels with men in suits pointing at charts, saying you just need to want it more. And you believe them because you do want it more. You always have. When your friends talk about being astronauts or teachers or pro athletes, you stay quiet. You've got a different plan. You won't say it out loud because it sounds stupid when you say it out loud. I want to be rich. Not comfortable, not stable, rich. Stupid rich. Private jet to lunch rich. Buy the house next to your ex just to demolish it rich. You don't even care how. E-commerce, crypto, stocks, trading, drop shipping, selling art, selling code, selling yourself. It doesn't matter. What matters is that someday you'll never have to check the price tag again. The sickness grows in silence. You start watching interviews like Church, Ed Mylett, Alex Hormozy, Gary Vee, prophets of the grind, high priests of the hustle. You write down quotes, tape them to your wall. You treat mindset like oxygen and success like scripture. You become addicted to YouTube comments under motivational videos. Thank you, bro. I was gonna give up today. I'm 15 and just made $400 online. Don't stop, kings. They're your people now. The ones who get it. The ones who don't laugh when you say you're gonna retire your mom before you hit 30. The ones who don't call you greedy, but driven. You don't know it yet, but this is the last time you'll ever feel clean. Because the dream you've chosen, the pursuit of wealth, it doesn't come with warning labels. No one tells you the truth, that once you want it bad enough, you'll never feel like you've done enough. That your life is about to become a war you fight mostly in your own head. All you know is, you're not like them. You don't want a normal life. You don't want weekends. You don't want peace. You want the bag. And you'll die chasing it before you even know what you were really trying to fill. A side hustle, a Shopify store, a Fiverr gig. You're 17 and Googling how to make passive income before 20, like it's a cheat code. You tell yourself you're just experimenting, but deep down, you already know. This isn't a phase, it's a mission. You skip parties because you're building something. You skip weekends because the grind doesn't stop. You skip sleep because you'll rest when you're rich. Your life becomes a spreadsheet. Every hour tracked. Every task logged. You read Atomic Habits like it's scripture. You listen to podcasts at 2 times speed in the shower. Your vision board has a Gulfstream jet, a Rolex, and a quote that says, "Discipline greater than motivation." You stop talking to friends who don't get it. They post beach photos. You post revenue screenshots. They talk about dating. You talk about growth metrics. You're not trying to be better than them. It just keeps happening anyway. You start waking up at 5 a.m., Because some guy on Twitter said millionaires do. You build Notion dashboards with more pages than your school notebooks ever had. You schedule dopamine fasts, cold showers, 90-minute deep work blocks. You don't live anymore. You optimize. And weirdly, it works. You start making money. Real money. The kind that hits your PayPal and makes your heart skip. The kind that turns your $600 laptop into a weapon. You reinvest. You scale. You feel it happening. The climb. But something shifts. Success doesn't feel like a reward. It feels like fuel. Like proof that you were right to give up everything. That now you just need to double down. So you do. You run ad campaigns while eating. You answer emails on dates. You check Shopify analytics at red lights. Your phone becomes an extension of your hand. Your mind a constant pitch deck. Rest becomes a guilty pleasure. Joy becomes inefficient. And every time you get close to breathing, a new benchmark shows up. You made 5K? Now make 10. Hit 10K month? Where's the 100K? Your favorite creator just hit 7 figures, and he's younger than you. It never stops. Because money isn't just a number anymore. It's identity. You're the guy who builds, the guy who wins, the guy who will retire before 30. You have to keep going. Because stopping now, that's death. That's surrender. That's admitting that maybe all this suffering isn't leading anywhere. So you keep writing the cold emails. Keep shipping products. Keep chasing the high. And every night you collapse into bed. Eyes burning. Thoughts racing. Brain whispering. Almost there. Just a little more. You don't realize you're already bleeding. Because the hustle doesn't take everything all at once. It takes it in tiny pieces. A missed dinner here, a broken friendship there, a body that starts forgetting what rested feels like. And you call it sacrifice. But what you're really doing is mortgaging your youth for a version of the future that keeps sprinting further away the closer you get. You hit your first big number. 10,000 in a month. Then 20. 30. You stare at the dashboard, waiting for something to click inside you. Some final sense of arrival. It doesn't. Instead, you feel a flicker of panic. Because if this isn't enough, what is? You were supposed to feel safe by now. Secure. Powerful. Free. But you don't feel anything except the pressure to keep going. You start refreshing analytics like it's oxygen. Strike payouts, CPMs, ROI reports. A dip in stats ruins your whole day. A spike lifts it, but only for an hour. Your nervous system becomes a slave to digits on a screen. You don't spend the money. You hoard it, stack it, worship it. Because every dollar now is insurance against irrelevance, against the one thing you fear more than being broke, being invisible. You can't watch normal content anymore. You scroll past music, jokes, art, unless it's monetized, unless it's scaling, unless it teaches you something. Even hobbies feel like betrayal. How does this help me grow? You abandon them. Your brain reprograms joy as inefficiency. You scroll through TikTok and see a 16-year-old claiming he made 100K in a month flipping watches. You see YouTubers half your age making millions for playing Minecraft. Dropshippers renting Lambos to sell ebooks about how to rent Lambos. And you don't roll your eyes. You don't scoff. You just feel behind. Always behind. You run faster, sleep less, eat standing up. You call it discipline, but it's desperation. You're not building a life anymore. You're just trying not to fall off the leaderboard. You tell people you're doing great, and technically, you are. But inside, you can't breathe, because now you're terrified of slowing down. Every pause feels like a threat. Every day off feels like you're losing ground. You used to chase success. Now you run from stillness. Because stillness means facing it. That even after all the effort, all the sacrifice, all the wins, you're still scared. You've built a cage out of your ambition. And the scariest part is, you like it. You need it. You don't know who you are without it. You don't celebrate anymore. You cope. Cope with caffeine. Cope with another dopamine hit from a new business idea. A new funnel. A new KPI. You scroll LinkedIn at 2 a.m. looking for people to outwork. You take calls while your mom sings happy birthday over speakerphone. You give motivational advice in group chats while quietly wondering if you're the one who's burning out the hardest. But you don't stop. You can't. Because deep down, there's a voice whispering, if you slow down now, you'll disappear. And disappearing? That's worse than failure. You don't notice it at first. The silence. The space between you and the people you love. It starts as a delay. One unanswered message. One missed call. But it spreads. You start skipping birthdays, dodging dinners, canceling plans with vague texts like, just grinding right now. Everyone claps when you say you're building a business. But no one tells you what you're dismantling to do it. You tell yourself it's temporary, that all this isolation is just the cost of the dream, that when you're finally rich, you'll call them back. But you won't. Because by then, you won't know how. Your body starts keeping score. You wake up tired even after 8 hours. Your chest tightens on calls. Your hands tremble for no reason. You start getting random headaches that feel like punishment. Your heart races at 3 a.m. and you lie there wondering if it's burnout or a panic attack. You don't go to the doctor. You Google it. Then go back to work. Because the worst part isn't that you're breaking. It's that you can't afford to look broken. You're the disciplined one, the future millionaire, the one who gets it. So you drink more coffee, take more supplements, meditate for 5 minutes just to get through another 18-hour sprint. You call it biohacking, but really you're just surviving. Relationships? Gone. Dating becomes a liability. You don't want to explain why you check your phone every 5 minutes, why you're emotionally vacant, why your love language is KPI charts. They say you're distant, cold, distracted. You say you're just focused. They leave anyway. Your parents don't get it either. They ask you to slow down, to come visit, to talk about something other than work. You feel annoyed. You think, they never built anything. They don't understand what it takes. Maybe they don't, but they see what it's doing to you. You pretend you're in control. But every conversation feels like a threat. You shut them down with updates. Revenue is up this month. Working on a new vertical. Like stats can explain your absence. You call it drive, but it's fear. Fear of being ordinary. Fear of resting and realizing you hate what you've become. You tell yourself the reward is coming, that you're just one launch away, one hire away, one quarter away. But the goalpost keeps moving, and the toll keeps rising. Your body aches. Your inbox is chaos. Your brain is a storm. You stare at your screen for hours and forget what day it is. You're technically winning, but no one claps anymore. Because no one's around. And in your quietest moments, the ones you drown in productivity playlists and calendar alerts, a question starts whispering from the background. What if I'm not building a future? What if I'm just burning my present, hoping it turns into something else? And then it happens. You hit the number. Maybe it's 6 figures in your account. Maybe it's your first million. Maybe it's just enough to say, I made it. But instead of relief, you feel nothing. No fireworks, no internal applause. Just a silent, aching void. You thought this would be the moment everything clicked into place. That money would be the cure. That finally, you'd feel whole. But you don't. You just feel tired. Heavier, somehow. Like you've been climbing a mountain, only to find that it's hollow at the top. You look around. Same apartment. Same desk. Same phone. The people you pushed away? Gone. The habits you destroyed for success? Nowhere to be found. The passion you used to feel when you were broke and hungry? Dead. And in its place, silence. You try to tell someone, maybe an old friend, maybe your mom, but the words sound stupid coming out. I just thought I'd feel different. They don't understand. Because how could they? You got what everyone says they want. You have what they post on vision boards and manifest on TikTok. And yet somehow, it's not enough. So you buy something. A new watch, a car, a vacation. And for a few hours, it works. You feel alive again. Validated. Worthy. But it fades. Because money doesn't fix the hole. It just gives you better tools to hide it. And that's when it hits you. You didn't want to be rich. You just didn't want to feel powerless. You didn't want to be successful. You just didn't want to be invisible. You thought wealth would bring you peace. But all it gave you was access. To louder distractions. To faster dopamine. To shinier cages. You wanted freedom. And now you're trapped in a schedule you built yourself. You wanted confidence. And now you're addicted to likes from strangers. You wanted to win. But somewhere along the way, you forgot what the gain even was. You realized the dream wasn't a destination. It was a moving target. And the closer you got, the more it moved. You sacrificed everything. Sleep, joy, health, connection. Thinking you were chasing happiness. But what you were really chasing was relief. And now you're here. Exhausted. Numb. Alone. You sit in your overpriced chair, in your optimized workspace, and you whisper the question that terrifies you more than failure ever did. Was this it? You tell yourself you're going to slow down, take a break, breathe. You even block off a weekend on your calendar. You light a candle, turn off notifications, sit in silence, and you hate it. Your skin itches, your thoughts spiral. You open your laptop 3 times in the first hour without realizing it. Not to work, just to check, just to feel plugged in, connected to something, to anything. Stillness is unbearable because it makes the noise in your head louder. You realize you've built your entire life around movement. Pace equals purpose. Productivity equals worth. If you're not building something, what are you even doing? So you cancel the weekend. You say something came up, but nothing did. You just didn't know how to be a person anymore. You used to have hobbies, used to make music, draw, go on walks with no podcast in your ears. You used to laugh for no reason. Now, everything has to serve the machine. If it can't be monetized, it's discarded. If it doesn't build the brand, it doesn't matter. You watch people live, really live, and you feel something sharp in your chest. Not jealousy, not even envy, just grief for the version of you that used to feel human. You try to claw back bits of balance. A dinner here, a phone call there, a day off with someone who still remembers the old you. But you can't stay present. You keep checking your phone under the table. You hear them laugh and feel like an outsider at your own life. Because deep down, you know the truth. You never built a life. You built a business suit you can't take off. You became the persona, the brand, the account, the avatar of discipline and hustle and success. And somewhere along the way, the real you evaporated. You thought wealth would give you power. But now, you're powerless to do anything except chase it. You thought money would bring you freedom. But now you're a prisoner of your own ambition. You don't want to keep going, but you don't know how to stop. You lie to yourself. Just one more milestone. But you already said that 5 milestones ago. You tell yourself, then I'll rest. But you don't even know what rest looks like anymore. You think about quitting sometimes. Not dramatically, just disappearing. Logging off. Selling the assets. Shutting it down. But you're too far in. Too many people watching. Too much tied to your name. Too many sunk costs. Too much identity invested. You don't keep going because you love it. You keep going because you're afraid of what's left if you don't. And in your most honest moments, you realize something darker than burnout. Something heavier than exhaustion. You're not afraid of losing everything. You're afraid that even if you don't, you'll still feel empty. It doesn't end with a bang. No breakdown. No big crash. No viral essay about burnout or some dramatic I'm quitting video with soft piano music. It ends quietly. You're sitting in your car, late at night, engine off. Your fingers still hovering over your phone. But there's nothing urgent. No alert. No crisis. Just silence. And for the first time in forever, you don't reach for it. You lean back. Breathe. The kind of breath that doesn't chase the next step, doesn't measure productivity, doesn't mean anything except that you're alive. It feels foreign, like you stole it from someone else. You watch a couple walk past, laughing, holding hands. Probably broke, probably free. You think about all the years you traded for digits on a screen. All the holidays you skipped. All the people you let drift away. All the moments you never noticed because you were chasing later. You told yourself it was a sacrifice. You called it purpose. But maybe it was just fear with good branding. You start to wonder, what if you weren't lazy for resting? What if you weren't falling behind? What if healing didn't mean quitting? Just changing the reason you show up. You don't check the numbers. You don't plan tomorrow. You let yourself sleep. And not the kind of sleep that's just a pit stop between grinds. Real sleep. You look out the window and realize you haven't done that in weeks. There's no grand resolution. No final lesson. Just you. Still here. A little more tired. A little more aware. But maybe, finally, 3 enough to start living. Even if that means starting small. Even if that means starting from nothing again. Because now, at least, you know, chasing rich nearly killed you. And letting go is what's keeping you alive.